Reginald Alexis, Mr. Alexis. So I've been teaching here at ESOMS for about 5 years now, going my fifth year. I'm the French teacher. I'm also a business teacher, but we teach business in Bridgeport for a year and different schools. It's my fifth year over here. So altogether, been a teacher for 6 years. I majored in business in undergrad, and also do my master's in business. And it was a few years later that I decided to go and get my master's in education. Back then, it was more of where was it gonna be easier for as far as where the money was. There was no push, there was no drive, no steering, I should say, about going into the education. Well, we know that we need to do something. My thoughts are we need to find the ways of getting our recruitment a bit higher as far as getting African American into the teaching profession, because think about it. I probably wasn't or didn't decide to go on a teacher because I didn't have any role model that looked like me, that was an African American. In high school, maybe two or three of my teachers were actually here, I should say, in America in high school. Maybe two or three of my teachers were looked like me, were black. It kind of, I wouldn't say the word putting down, but I think it's, for me, when I decide to do this, I feel like it will give them a little boost. Like, for instance, for if the kids could see me or identified with me, or the boys, because they were more like the ones that always get in trouble all the time. Always, if they could see me and identify with me, it'll be easier for them to do what we ask them to do. It'll be able more them to push them a little bit easier, as opposed to them hearing a female teacher talking to them. In this case, we do have a lot of black female teachers, but again, our youth, the teenagers, I should say, they're a bit more reluctant into listening to them. And if they could see someone they like them, a black man, we're not talking about sexism, but it does exist. They will respond back to a male teacher better, or identify themselves to a male teacher. I think yes, it's different than a regular teacher, because we can't. It's almost the same thing that they asked us to do in school, in the classroom, where we differentiate and stuff. We can't really treat all teachers the same, frankly. Developmental, and if we are gonna have PDs for them, we can't just do all for one. There's no one measure for all. I think in the administrative point of view, we should see it in this case and see what do we need to do, or how do we need to more equip the black teachers in order for them to excel and then stay in the profession. Because a lot of us, we went in. So I do think that we should set up the PDs, or professional development, that is tailored to black teachers, not to put anybody on the side, but at least for us to be able to identify with ourselves and see where else we need to plug in, and then to grow and be able to stay in the classroom and help our kids. And I say help our kids in this case, it's not just reaching out and teach to the whole, but really those kids who are behind, and how can we bring them and elevate them, bring them to the same level. We talk a little bit about doing PDs, or things that the administrative team also can do for black teachers. It's almost the same thing that we got to do, where we don't create, I'm not saying having two levels for everybody, but we got to see the kids as sometimes what may be very deep for one could be different for our kids. We need to join them from where they are and raise them up. So we need to help our kids grow. Maybe it has to do with the leadership, like we said, where we need to get more of the students to see more of us, more of black people in a position where they can be role model for them, and really teach them to be better persons, frankly, and then raise them up. Yeah. Maybe we could have a big forum where we get teachers, parents, get the community involved, get them to buy into what we want to do. Maybe we should have a program and say, hey, this is where our kids are. This is where we need them to be. And then collaboratively with the parents, and we could bring them up. Anything that you do in this sense gonna have backlash, but you got to understand, what we need to understand is that we need to elevate uh black, what it's not really a racial stuff, it's just that we've been um marginalized, I should say. And then again, if we are in position as a leadership where we can bring up our people who could bring up blacks, then why not doing it? Security, it's absolutely true. It's everywhere. It's in the security cards. It's in this school. It's in every other school. But yeah, we definitely need to reverse it, because it isn't good for our kids. The image that it portray, it's not feasible for our kids. It's not feasible for growth for them. But I don't know. We've decided to do it this way. We've seen it. I've seen it. You've seen it. We all seen it. But we need to reverse the course. Okay. So we think it over. In my 6 years experience in the classroom, I haven't had an issue with it. I think they appreciate it. At least those parents that I have the chance to talk to and have a chance to interact with, doing whether it's parent teachers conference or even outside, doing when we do our trips outside of the of Connecticut. So they always appreciate that. I don't think that's an issue, frankly. At least for French, even when I was teaching business, I didn't see that issue. So if it's there, I haven't seen it yet. So I feel like they appreciate it. Yes, I think they appreciated the diversity.